The case of Juan Nakpil Sons versus Court of Appeals with GR number L-47851 dated October 3, 1996. Case Doctrine. An act of God has been defined as an accident due directly and exclusively to natural causes without human intervention, which by no amount of foresight, pains, or care reasonably to have been expected could have been prevented. The facts of the case. Private respondents Philippine Bar Association decided to put up an office building in Intramuros, Manila. Hired to plan the specifications of the building were Juan Nakpil and Sons, while United Construction was hired to construct it. The proposal was approved by the Board of Directors and signed by the President Ramon Ozeta. The building was completed in 1966 of June. On August 2, 1968, there was an unusual strong earthquake which caused the building heavy damage which led the building to tilt forward, leading the tenants to vacate the premises. United Construction took remedial measures to sustain the building. PBA filed a suit for damages against United Construction, but United Construction subsequently filed a suit against Nakpil and Sons, alleging defects in the plans and specifications. Technical issues in the case were referred to Mr. Hizon as a court commissioner. PBA moved for the demolition of the building but was opposed. PBA eventually paid for the demolition after the building suffered more damages in 1970 due to previous earthquakes. The commissioner found that there were deviations in the specifications and plans as well as defects in the construction of the building. Issue: whether or not an act of God or fortuitous event exempts liability parties who would otherwise be due to negligence. Ruling: no. Article 1723 dictates that the engineer, architect, and contractor are liable for damages should the building collapse within 15 years from completion. Article 1174, however, states that no person shall be responsible for events which could not be foreseen. But to be exempt from liability due to an act of God, the following must occur. First, cost of breach must be independent of the will of the debtor. Second, event must be unforeseeable or unavoidable. Third, event must be such that it would render it impossible for the debtor to fulfill the obligation. And fourth, debtor must be free from participation or aggravation of the industry to the creditor. In the case at bar, although the damage was ultimately caused by the earthquake, which was an act of God, the defects in the construction as well as the deviations in the specifications and plans aggravated the damage and lessened the preventive measures that the building would otherwise have had. There should be no question that the Nakpils and United are liable for damage resulting from the partial and eventual collapse of the PBA building as a result of the earthquakes.
Created using Powtoon.